So how Kenya is becoming the Singapore of Africa, economy of Kenya. This is a channel from Econ. So nataka kuona how true is this. Najua za Kenya na najua nataka tuone if they have the facts straight. Juu anasema Kenya is becoming the next Singapore, na huku wananchi wanalalamika wanasema hawana kakiru man. I'm just trying to see how true is this. So without wasting much more time, tuanze.
This is Africa, home to the world's youngest and fastest growing population, burgeoning cities, and bold innovations in everything from fintech to clean energy. With its population set to nearly double by 2050,
That's Nigeria, yeah, that's Nigeria.
reaching 2.5 billion people, Africa stands as a beacon of opportunity for inclusive growth, leveraging its vast natural resources and abundant human potential to increase prosperity not only in Africa but around the world. As a result, many multinational corporations see a need to have a direct presence somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa. Many such companies have already established a presence in Asia, particularly in Singapore, which is now increasingly popular as a business hub. According
But the crazy comparison that Kenya used to have is that they gained independence the same time as Singapore in 1963. But what they have done within that time and what Kenya has done is incomparable. So basically, Kenyans, instead of developing and investing, they started looting. Alafu they came the 27 years za Moi. Zenye nothing major really happened, but so much could have happened. But anyway.
According to a report by the Economist Intelligence Unit, Singapore boasts the world's most favourable business environment for the next 5 years. However, the question arises, which African region might witness a similar surge in corporate presence? Unfortunately, Africa's biggest economies are struggling lately. Nigeria's economy is heavily reliant on oil and has seen a decline in GDP per capita since 2015 due to plummeting crude prices. Infrastructure issues, power outages, and inconsistent policies further compound its woes.
That's somehow similar to what was going on in Africa the past decade, but continue.
Similarly, Angola, also oil-dependent, strives to diversify its economy amidst mounting debt, primarily owed to China. In South Africa, challenges stem from crony capitalism, electricity shortages, and inadequate investment, leading to its second recession in 2 years before the pandemic hit. Currently, these places are not positioned to become dominant sub-Saharan economic hubs. In contrast, the one country in Africa that is making remarkable progress in major investments in 3 key areas, institutions, integration, and infrastructure, is Kenya.
Big up, Manzawa Kenya.
Kenya has come a long way in the last 20 years, from a country plagued by poverty and political turmoil to a rising economic power that at one point outperformed the regional average for 8 consecutive years, with GDP growth above.
When was this, Tone? Who was the president from 2010 to 2020? 2010 to 8 ndio Kibaki aliingia, si ndio? 28 mpaka 28 plus 5, that's 2013. 2013 ndio Uhuru akaingia. 2013, si ndio? 2013 akatoka 2021. So 2020, this is the plummet.
Above 5%. Kenya's economy is primarily market-driven, with some state-owned enterprises. It is classified as an emerging market and boasts average industrialization levels, leading among its East African counterparts. Recently, Kenya even surpassed Angola to become the 3rd largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa.
So South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, then Angola, 3rd largest economy. In $1 billion, $115 billion. God damn.
Trailing only Nigeria and South Africa. Kenya also has some geographical advantages, boasting an extensive coastline across the Indian Ocean. Studies suggest that landlocked countries tend to have poorer economic performance, while coastal nations find it easier to connect with the rest of the world.
True.
Throughout history, Kenya's trade centres along the Tanzanian coast, known as the Land of Zanj, have facilitated exchanges with China, India, Indonesia, the Middle East, North Africa and Persia since ancient times, as far back as the 2nd century. Today, Kenya has relatively easy access to China and India, which are large markets and sources of capital. In the current geopolitical landscape, East Africa, including Kenya, is gaining increased attention from
Ngoja, East Africa kwani iko na how many countries? Kenya, Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea. This is South Sudan, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania. So this is even part of East Africa, Madagascar. God damn, it's giving Zimbabwe. So all of these countries are East African countries. Hii haiko South. Hizi haziko South. Dot inaanzanga hapa. East Africa ni mpaka TZ. God damn, nikaa sikuwa najua. I didn't know.
Various sources compared to much of West Africa. Looking at Singapore, it capitalized on its strategic location and dynamic policies earlier than other aspiring hubs in the region. Singapore is known for being welcoming to foreign businesses, making it one of Asia's leading financial sectors that attracts foreign investments. Many multinational companies have already set up shop in this small country.
True.
Singapore's status as the largest foreign exchange center in the Pacific/Asia region and the third largest globally is another major draw, thanks to its emphasis on promoting international trade through free trade agreements with surrounding major countries. Kenya could potentially follow a similar path. In
What?
East Africa, Kenya stands as the economic powerhouse. It boasts the largest economy in the region, which is notably more dynamic compared to its neighbors.
$115 billion or Kenya shillings. US dollars, yeah.
Kenya's economy is well connected to others in terms of investment and trade, making it the central hub for economic, commercial, financial, and logistical activities in East Africa. According to the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business ranking, Kenya is positioned 56th globally and 4th in Africa, reflecting its
Within Africa, behind Morocco, Rwanda, and Mauritius. Hey, Rwanda, they have been doing their thing, bana. Ni almost that. 0.02. Ni almost that.
favorable business environment. Moreover, Kenya is globally recognized as a hub of innovation, earning the nickname Silicon Savannah due to its rapidly growing technology and innovation ecosystems.
Bas.
Major players like Google, Microsoft, and Intel have established their regional headquarters in
And
Nairobi, with
Oracle.
IBM even setting up its first African research lab in the city. Kenya's economic dominance in the region is driven by a robust private sector that has flourished under generally market-friendly policies since independence. The country's relative political stability and consistency in policies have also contributed significantly to its economic dominance. In contrast, other East African nations
So, outward looking in, wanasema Ruto is doing a great job. He's doing an amazing job. But kwa ground mnasemaje? Uko fiti? Answer that question.
have experienced more turbulent
Labda nyinyi ndio mjui. Labda yeye anafanya kazi na mjui.
political histories. For example, Tanzania pursued a socialist ideology known as Ujamaa under President Julius Nyerere, which hindered private sector growth. Such factors undermined the growth of the private sector in the other East African countries. Though these countries have undertaken substantive reforms and are now on a positive growth trajectory, Kenya is likely to hold on to its dominant position for the near to medium future. In 2007, Safaricom, a major telecom
Safaricom ni wezi pia wamekuwa kiiba pesa za watu huko kwa M-Pesa hapa. Ndio vitu hawasemi. Ground kuna watu wanapoteza ganji mingi sana, but it's high.
company in Kenya, introduced M-Pesa, a mobile money service that quickly gained popularity in the Kenyan market. M-Pesa allows people to transfer money using their phones and has become the most successful service of its kind globally. Initially, M-Pesa was created to enable repayment of microfinance loans through mobile phones, cutting down on cash handling costs and enabling lower interest rates. But it turns out that this simple system initially built off of text messaging with no smartphones or apps required, used for everything from paying electricity bills to school fees, makes a significant difference for poor families.
When you put it like that, M-Pesa seems so revolutionary. And I guess ni juu Kenya tushazoea kuwa na M-Pesa, so not having M-Pesa is kind of weird.
A study revealed that families living closer to a mobile money agent were less likely to be in extreme poverty, under $1.25 a day, or poverty, under $2 a day. Normally, poor families face consumption shocks, where they can't afford basic needs when income drops, but those with access to mobile money experience more stability. Being able to save and receive transfers from friends and family provides a safety net. Published in the 2016
Hiyo story nitumie kakitu msiku hivyo. M-Pesa. Send me M-Pesa.
issue of Science, the study estimates that since 2008, mobile money access has increased daily consumption levels for 2% of Kenyan households, lifting them out of extreme poverty, especially among female-headed households. Back then,
Wanasema madem ndio wanatumia pesa.
M-Pesa was seen as a prime example of how technology could revolutionize financial services and boost financial inclusion in developing economies. By making it easier for
Hizi ni doa za kitambo bro, god
services
damn.
and boost financial inclusion in developing economies. By
Ona hizi maruabe na madhao. God damn.
making it easier for Kenyans at
Amachwani.
every economic level to use their mobile phones to reliably and quickly pay each other,
Hii ni lini?
M-Pesa had
This is stock footage from when, bro?
also shown how quickly human behavior could change when given a better alternative. Today, M-Pesa Africa has become a major player in Africa's thriving fintech ecosystem. Operating in 7 countries, it boasts over 50 million monthly active users. The company has recently introduced consumer and business super apps, along with features like Fuliza for overdrafts and M-Pesa Global for
Escape the Matrix, escape Fuliza. Fuliza itawamaliza my guys. Uwe. Fuliza tu hivi. But to each his own, to each his own.
remittances. M-Pesa has emerged as the top choice for remittances into Kenya, thanks to its skilled workforce, diverse economy, and leadership in the region's information communication revolution.
Yes, sir.
M-Pesa continues to innovate. Kenya benefits from a large pool of highly educated professionals, with a strong emphasis on IT literacy and innovation,
That's me.
particularly among the youth.
That's
Kenya's
me.
population is about 57 million, with over 80%
No. 57 million. 57 million imetoa wapi? 54. Okay.
and aged 35 years and below. It boasts a young, growing, and educated English-speaking population with high fluency in technology, benefiting from reliable internet access that ranks among the best in Africa. However,
Oh, net yetu ni among the best in Africa. Type shit.
the affordability of internet remains a recurring debate. Internet access has been a driving force behind economic growth, leading the government to develop the Digital Economy Blueprint. This framework aims to enhance Kenya's capacity for leapfrogging economic growth in the region. As the world shifts towards green energy, Kenya also has a positive story to tell. Kenya is also a regional leader in clean energy development, with more than 90% of its on-grid electricity coming from renewable sources. Kenya has vast potential for geothermal power, capable of generating 10,000 megawatts, more than 10 times the amount it currently
But Kenya Power manzi huku manzi vile wanatunyanyasa my guy. Hey. Huku kukinyesha tu hivi kidogo washanunua stima. Wazipeleke ni zisinyeshe. But ndio huku nje wanasema we can produce all that, bro.
produces. Foreign companies looking to boost their green reputations might find Kenya an attractive destination. That said, expensive energy, due in part to taxes and poor regulation, has
Ndio hiyo wamesema. Poor regulation and taxes, which tunaongezewa every day.
been a growth drawback. However, Kenya's economic growth doesn't benefit everyone equally. A report from the McKinsey Global Institute reveals that while Kenya's GDP per capita grew by an average of 1.8% annually between 2000 and 2022, this growth varied widely across different regions. Some areas experienced growth rates below 0%, while others saw rates exceeding 4%. Regions with the highest GDP and GDP
Nairobi.
per capita growth were often found in Central, Coast, and Nairobi provinces. Nairobi, the capital city, and surrounding counties like Kiambu had higher
Kiambu, bro.
GDP per capita. Coastal areas like Lamu or Mombasa also exceeded the national average GDP per capita of $4,500, while counties bordering Somalia and other internal areas like Baringo and Kakamega had lower figures. There are other elements of the case against Kenya. One issue is its struggle to attract foreign direct investment, even compared to other African countries. Despite its size and level of development, foreign investments in Kenya are relatively low.
Juu huku ukisha kuja mnanyoroshwa na mataxes huku hadi waamini. Kampuni zinafunga zinaenda TZ, Rwanda, Ethiopia juu ya tax. It's not our fault, the administration.
According to a recent survey by the National Bank of Kenya, the main investors in the country are the United Kingdom, Mauritius, the US, South Africa,
China,
and France. Challenges such as poor infrastructure, skill shortages, instability related to terrorist risk, political
terrorist risk in Kenya. Juu ya Westgate. Hamjai nini?
social and ethnic divisions persist. Moreover, issues like ineffective rule of law and corruption are significant concerns.
True.
Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index for 2022 ranked Kenya 123rd out of 180 economies. And in the 2023 Index of Economic Freedom, it ranked 135th out of 176.
That's bad.
Furthermore, Kenya's
That's
debt
bad.
burden is on the rise. The debt to GDP ratio
Debt to GDP ratio. So you see, this 2000. So when Kibaki came in 2002, around here, 3, 4, 5, you see, 2002, he reduced the debt up to hapa. Ndio akiwa natoka 2010, alikuwa natoka 20. Kibaki was from 2002 to 2005. 2007. Ngoja, what am I saying? Kibaki was from 202 plus 5, 207. 207 plus 5, 2013. Honor. It hit an all-time low. All-time low. Honor. That was in 2010, 11, 2012, 2013. It's 2013. This is 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. Vile tu aliingia Kibaki nani Uhuru and company ikaanza kupanda the debt.
ratio increased to 67.3% in 2022 from 63% in 2020. This surge in borrowing, fueled in part by substantial increases in debt-financed public investments, is causing concerns about fiscal space and debt sustainability.
True.
The country's sovereign risk assessment remains at CCC, indicating significant risks due to a wide budget deficit and the growing cost of servicing external debt. Projects like the Chinese-funded railway have contributed to Kenya's debt burden. This situation has drawn investor attention, especially as the country grapples with soaring energy and food import bills, as well as low foreign exchange reserves. Yet, the robust growth driven by the private sector could aid Kenya's debt sustainability, given the limitations in fiscal and debt
Kama mnategemea the private sector, that's crazy. As a government, tunategemea the private sector
management. Private investment will be crucial for driving growth. It is also possible that sub-Saharan Africa will not develop a single dominant corporate hub at all. The United Arab Emirates will continue to evolve into Africa's financial center. Lagos
Huku ni wapi kunakaa? Huku ni wapi?
will have the most startup activity. South Africa will remain the dominant business center in the south, and London, Beijing and India will play more important roles in Africa's economic future. Nevertheless, Kenyans are deeply concerned about various development challenges facing their nation today. Government corruption, economic issues like
corruption, unemployment, poverty, crime. And corruption, this crime is caused by unemployment and corruption. These three. If this were to be fixed, crime will be fixed. Poor healthcare because of corruption. Clean drinking water, again, because of corruption. Gap between rich and poor, again, because of corruption. Food shortage, corruption. Pollution, corruption because wanakula pesa yenye inafaa kutumika kusafisha hizi manini wanakula. Poor quality schools because wanaiba do ya nini ya masomo. Clean toilets. So these are the concerns. If you just fix corruption, nakuambia, if you just fix corruption, all of this itakuwa rahisi sana, because when you fix corruption, unemployment itapungua, because people will be able to find jobs. There will be more opportunities. People will be holding opportunities because of what they might gain. But ni sawa. Anyway,
like unemployment and poverty, and crime top the list, with at least 8 out of 10 Kenyans considering each as significant problems.
hapa ni archives.
Despite these worries, there remains optimism for
just
the
for
future,
Metro.
particularly among the youth. Education and healthcare are seen
No,
as key
ST.
priorities by the public. It's crucial for both Kenya and the wider sub-Saharan African region that the country maintains the momentum it has built since 2000 and continues on the path towards achieving upper middle income status.
Good video. W Insight. Manze wamejaribu. The Sharks believe Kahawa Coffee is not asking for enough money. Huyu ni Mkenya. Ona vile Wakenya wananini huko. But anyway, just hope that watachange. Si ndio hatujui kile kinaendelea. But anyway,